first online saxophone review lesson with Mrs. Rinaudo. Today we will be using only your reed, your mouthpiece, and the top neck piece of the saxophone. Not your neck strap, but the neck piece, okay? So first of all, we want to start with making sure that we take good care of our saxophone and open it the right way. So let me grab my case. All right. The case is going to be about this size, pretty big, okay, kind of heavy. And on your case, you should see some sort of label, most likely. Some cases don't have a label, but most do. And then there's the latches, okay? So what we want to do is we want to put our case on the floor to open it. You should not be opening your case on your lap. It will fall at some point. So we want to make sure we're taking care of our saxophone and opening our case on the floor. So I'm going to put it down so that the label is up and the latches are facing me, okay? So you can do that. Instrument on the floor, case on the floor, label facing up and latches facing you. And then you can go ahead and unlatch your instrument and open it up. All right, you need to take out and put on your music stand. I have it next to me. The neck piece, your reed in the case, and your mouthpiece and ligature. That's this. Yours might be black, it might be gold, it might be leather, it might be metal. There's lots of different ligatures out there, so whatever you have, whatever your equipment is, and put that on your stand. And you should also have your paper and your picture of the saxophone mouthpiece, okay? How to put it together, but we're gonna do that here too. All right, so first let's talk about our reed. So our reeds are really special. They're very fragile and breakable, so we want to make sure we're taking really good care of them. So this is in the case right now. I'm going to slide it out. I'm going to put it on my tongue. Get it nice and wet. My teeth aren't touching the reed, just my tongue and closing my lips around it. So I'm going to flip it over. Let's practice putting it back in the case. So we want to make sure it goes in the open end here. Careful with the tip. That goes in tip first, the thinner side. Okay, see how you can almost see through it? Tip goes in first. Push it in, and you only want to push it in so far that it's even with the end of the cover. If you push it all the way down, it's sticking out over here. Number one, your reed could break. Number two, you might not be able to get it out. Okay, so again, let's take it out, slide it out, put it on your tongue. Let's take a look at our ligature, our mouthpiece. There's a hole in the mouthpiece, right? Our reed is going to go over that hole. But let's talk about our ligature. Make sure that you loosen it so that it can move around. Okay, we want it to be able to move. I'm going to take it off, put it down. Now I have my mouthpiece. I'm going to take out my nice wet reed. This is the polished side, so there's two colors. And then there's the flat side where there's usually some writing. I'm going to take the flat side and put it down on the mouthpiece over the hole, okay, so that I can see the polished side, all right? Then I'm going to line it up so that it looks, you know, like it's right at the top of the mouthpiece, like that. You can still see a little bit of black over it. Take my ligature, carefully put it over my reed, okay, so that I'm not gonna break the reed. I'm also not touching the tip of the reed, okay. Then I'm gonna pull it down with my thumb, pull, 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 and tighten my ligature. I tighten by turning away from me. Your ligature, again, might look a little different. We'll go over that in class, but a lot of them look like this. All right, so then it should look like this, okay? If your reed is way too low, you're not gonna get a good sound. If it's too high, you're not going to get a good sound. So you do need it to look just like your picture and just like this. There's also another video where we do this a little bit slower, so you can watch that one too if you need a little extra help, okay? All right, grab your cork grease. I forgot to say cork grease at the beginning, but you should have some sort of cork grease around, either in a little tub or in this kind of chapstick looking one. So now you need to grab your neck piece, okay? This is the neck piece. This piece is really breakable, okay? It bends very easily. So we don't want to grab here like this. If we're ever grabbing this piece, we want to grab here. You can grab the cork, grab here, but easiest just to grab here, okay? So I'm going to hold here. I've got my cork grease. It's not chapstick. I take it, I put a little on here, and then I'm going to rub it in all the way around. You might need more or less, maybe more, depending on if your cork is kind of new on your instrument, if your instrument is new. This cork is pretty old, so that was probably a little more than I needed, but that's okay. so it's nice and greased. I rub it in, okay? Then, and if you have any extra, you can just wipe it on. It's not bad for you. Then, oh, and mine smells like root beer. Yum. So then I'm going to take my mouthpiece and my neck piece, holding here near the cork, not here, and I'm going to push and twist them together. Now it's going to be played like this. So we want the reed going down and this going down to connect to our saxophone is the ultimate goal, okay? All right, so it looks like this. Now we're going to start to make a sound. So we have done on our paper getting ready and assembly of the mouthpiece. We want to make sure we're sitting up in our chair, our feet are on the floor, and then we're going to talk about embouchure, how we make sound, what our lips do. So we want to roll on our bottom lip like you're putting on chapstick, and then you're going to set your reed on your bottom lip like this, okay? Your teeth are not touching it, you're covering them up. Your top teeth, like a bunny, are going to clamp down on your mouthpiece, okay? Gently. And then you're going to close your lips around so air doesn't get out. So you're going to go, Now, you also want to pull your chin down, but that's a little more advanced. We'll talk about that as we go. And you just want to blow some air through. So teeth, bottom lip roll in. Now, I'm not blowing hard enough to get sound, and I'm not tightening up enough to really control my reed and get sound. So if you hear just air, you need to kind of bring everything in, tighten up the corners of your mouth a little bit, and be a little tighter with your teeth and blow a little harder. So we want... Let's do that again. Bottom lip rolled in, teeth on top, close your lips, ready, go. Make sure your teeth are touching. I'm going to go around and move your mouthpiece around in your lesson, and if there's nothing anchoring that mouthpiece in your mouth, your teeth aren't touching, it's going to move around a lot. So teeth on top, close your lips. Let's do it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Now notice another thing, my cheeks aren't all puffing out. I'm not doing this. You hear the difference in my sound? It's all wavy, it's a little bit lower. We want to be a little more controlled, we want to use a little bit more muscle. So if your cheeks are puffed out, look in the mirror, double check, and you can actually have them puffed out and then tighten those muscles up and bring it back in. Watch this. So I can bring them back in. It's hard to do and it takes a little bit of practice, and you do have to pay attention to, are you doing that and are your cheeks puffed? So take a look in the mirror once in a while this week while you're playing and just make sure that that's not happening to you. We want to use those muscles there in our mouth. All right, so I'm going to play a pattern and I want you to repeat it after me. Here we go. Holding near the cork, not here. That's our breakable part. Near the cork, bottom lip rolled in, teeth on top, me first. Here I go. Go. My turn. Go. All right, now let's see if we can hold a note out for 5 counts. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, teeth on top, bottom lip. 1, 2, teeth on top, go. All right, now let's see if we can do 8. Bottom lip, teeth, watch those cheeks. 1, 2, 8 counts, go. All right, pretty good. If your sound is a little bit lower than mine, think about, again, tightening up those corners on your mouth. Okay, you're not biting on your mouthpiece, but you're just using these muscles, same ones that you'd use to smile. You kind of just tighten those up a little bit. We are preparing for the longest note competition. Next week in your lesson, we will see who can hold out a note the longest. It does take some control and some practice. So if you don't try to hold out a long note, you won't know that feeling of what it feels like to kind of conserve your air a little bit. So that's what we're practicing right there. So now let's do a couple of patterns. If you look at step 6 on your paper, it has a different pattern. So the first one is one that you all know, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. So let's try that on our mouthpiece. Here we go. Bottom lip rolled in, teeth on top, close your lips. first pattern. 1, 2, here's ta, go. All right, the next pattern. Ta, rest, ta, rest. Let's do it. 1, 2, here's ta, go. Rest, rest. All right, and then the third one, ta, ta, rest, ta. Let's do that one. Bottom lip rolled in, teeth on top. I'm not gonna say rest this time. I'm gonna show rest, but I'm not gonna say anything. So you have to think it in your head. Here we go. Now, third pattern. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, be careful. Make sure you really read it and pay attention. So this is all we're doing for our first lesson. Your job is to get these muscles stronger, get better at putting your mouthpiece together, and to do this as many times as you can this week so that you become almost an expert at it in 1 week, okay? So your job at the end of your practicing is check a box down here for whatever day it is that you've practiced. Your goal is to play 5 to 7 times this week. It shouldn't take you very long. This was only 7 minutes, okay? On your own, you can probably do it even faster as long as you just make sure you check that you're doing everything on your paper, okay? Now, before we go, let's make sure we take this apart the right way. So, first of all, we want to untwist our mouthpiece. So, holding near the cork, twist and pull your mouthpiece off. Put your neck piece away. Wherever it goes in your case, there's different spots for different saxophones. And then we're going to unscrew our ligature. Turn, 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 turn. It shouldn't take lots of unscrewing. You don't want to just keep going until the screws fall out. Just make it a little bit looser, and then you lift up the ligature. That's what's going to get your reed off there. Slide that off. Very carefully, you're going to put your reed tip first, thin part first. See how thin it is? Into the case, and so that it's even with the edge, okay? Put that in your case. Put your ligature back on your mouthpiece. Remember that sometimes your ligature might go like this. It's just upside down. It's not going down, it's not going down. Just flip it over. There you go. And put that in your case. Don't forget to close your case. All right, you are all set. And don't forget your paper next week. Write down your practicing, and good luck. You can do it. Bye.